All right, I think we're in business. Perfect. All right, let's get back to it. Hopefully that will not happen again. That was a huge pain in the butt. All right. Alright, so we were trying to get everything in sync, and it looks like we were just about there. Hopefully YouTube lets me cut this back into something a little nicer for the replay people. Oh, keep going the wrong direction with that. Let's see, 0.25. Alright, that should be good enough. And the video and audio are just slightly off, you don't even really notice. Alright, so we're going to start on shot 2. Make our cut right here. Go to the primary camera.
Go and tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go and tell it on the mountain that Jesus is born. Wow,
alright. Nice little marker we left ourselves here for Shepherd. Cut to Tyler there.
while shepherds kept their watching, or silent flocks by night, behold, throughout the heavens there shone a holy light. Or silent flocks by night,
I think right about there on that drum hit. We'll cut back. Don't need that camera motion in there.
silent flocks by night, behold, throughout the heavens there shone a holy light.
Switch on the syllable go. Back to the roaming camera.
Go and tell it on, go and tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go, everywhere. Go, go and tell it on the mountain that Jesus is born. The shepherds feared and trembled when
Let's see. That seems right before that phrase starts. We'll cut back to the B camera here.
the shepherds feared and trembled when low above the earth, and trembled when low above the earth, when low,
Cut back. Is that camera?
when low above the earth rang out the angel chorus that hailed our Savior's birth.
cut back because Tyler is really getting into it here in a second. There's a perfect spot to cut to him.
Down in a lonely manger, the humble Christ was born. But God sent salvation on the Christmas morn.
And right on the... Yeah, started doing something. So we'll take that drum hit right there as a cut back to the primary. I'm doing the beat here. Looks like right there on that hit. I got my shot framed up. Let's see how that cut looks. Come on. Technical difficulty. Actually, I like it better right about there because I was stumbling around a little too much. Hand holding the camera like that's difficult business. And then there's where I moved away. And go right on that. Guitar note back to the primary.
Go and tell it on the mountain.
Cut here right over the hills. We got a nice little shot framed up.
Over the hills and everywhere. Go and tell it on the mountain that Jesus is born. I said go and tell it on the mountain. Over the hills and everywhere. Go and tell it on the mountain.
I think I figured out the problem. I might be working with the wrong footage here.
That Jesus is born. I said go tell it on the mountain that Jesus is.
Yeah, Kristen is having some trouble over there coughing. I don't know if Miles took from another take to fill that in, because that would make sense, but definitely can't use the video from that.
Everywhere, go tell it on the mountain.
Well, let's just get our cut done and pretend she's not doing that and see about swapping in the correct footage.
Over the hills, everywhere, go tell it on the mountain. That
cut right here on Jesus. Take that back to... see. You can see her coughing in all these shots.
over the hills, everywhere.
Best cut right there.
Mountain, over the hills, everywhere. Go and tell it on the mountain that Jesus is born. I said go and tell it on the mountain. I said go and
I'm gonna cut right on tell. Back to the wide shot.
go and tell it on the mountain. Over the hills, everywhere. Go and tell it on the mountain that Jesus is born. I said go tell it on the mountain.
See if
Over the hills.
seems like I got a good B shot there.
Tell it on the mountain. Over the hills.
I'm gonna do a cut back black right on everywhere, just so we got a little variety.
Everywhere go. Everywhere. Over the hills. Everywhere go. Tell it on the mountain that Jesus is born. I said.
And then right on this last go, it's going to be the outro. So for that, definitely want the shot of everyone.
I said, go tell it on the mountain that Jesus is born.
Alright, so looks like I made a nice rookie mistake and somehow grabbed the wrong footage. So that's exciting stuff right there. I will go fix that on my own time and get the video looking good, and you guys can check out Leland's Road's channel on YouTube at some point if you want to see the final video. They'll probably be putting it out probably in the next, I don't know, week or so. They want to get it out before Christmas. But there were just a couple other things I want to show you guys that I can show you even without having to go back and fix all of that stuff up. One of the first things I did not get into in the multicam here, but you'll notice that I didn't use this C shot, so we won't worry about that. But this B shot, you see the Christmas lights flickering there? If you go frame by frame, you'll notice that they're bright on every other frame. So, that means I got really lucky. What I should have done is open up my shutter, but I did not notice this when we were doing it live and in the moment. And let's see here. Yeah, got very lucky that it synced every other frame. I'll show you guys how to fix that. It's actually really easy. The first thing that I'll do is nest these. And we'll just call this like camera B. And then we'll nest this. And we'll call it camera A. Alright, now over here we got camera A and camera B. Let's fix those. It only takes a second. So what we'll do is open them up in the timeline over here. I'm going to hold the Option or Alt key and drag up. It makes a copy of the video on the layer above. And all we're going to do is we're going to take the one that's not attached to the audio, which looks like it's this bottom one, and we're going to nudge it forward one frame. So now every time that one of these has the lights flickering bright, they'll be dark in the other one. And then we just take the top one and we turn the opacity down to 50% so that they'll blend. Now that little bit of blur that might happen between frames, no one's ever going to notice that. It's not going to be a thing. So now if you watch, yeah, and you're working with partial frames, and that's a whole other mess, but you need to go here and turn the audio time units on so that you can move partial frames, and then you may have to make a few of these and cascade them down, but most of the time it's just going to be off by that one frame. Okay, and the reason we nested them is so that I could make this copy without actually affecting what's going on in the multicam. So we'll just open up camera B, copy that video down, nudge it one frame, top one, opacity to 50. Sure. Good thing those, if you have a lot of motion, you're kind of screwed, honestly, if you got a flicker and the motion, because then you're going to see your frame blending happen. Yeah, to be honest, it's just not that bad in this one. So I'm just going to undo that, and I'm not going to worry about flicker in the moving camera. it looks way better if I don't fix it in that particular case. All right, so that fixes that.
Go and tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go and tell it on the mountain that Jesus is born. While shepherds kept their watching or silent.
Okay, I may have to fix this in quite a few places, but for right now I'm going to do it in this one spot just so you can see.
While shepherds kept their watching.
So, a really easy way around that. You don't want to go crazy with this, but there's a effect called warp stabilizer, and it basically just aims. Oh, I forget you can't do that right there. So this is another one of those cases where you have to nest it. Since I sped that up or slowed it down ever so slightly to get it to sync up, it won't let me do those to the same clip. So I nest that, and then I can drop the stabilizer on there. And while it analyzes in the background here, I'm going to check in with you guys. All right. Eli may be the only one left here after the thing dropped and came back. Audio's good. Clap at the beginning. Yeah, you're absolutely right, but they were working to a metronome, so I knew that I, at least theoretically, would only have to find one single drum hit, which would be, you know, just as accurate as a clap, a really sharp transient like that. And so they had, since they had the drum count in on almost every one of these songs, I was counting on that to sync everything up. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That is a good tip to know. I do that a lot with the YouTube stuff. You just clap and then get into everything. If you're using multiple cameras, if you're mixing your cameras with audio, like for my last few YouTube videos, I've been using a lavalier mic that clips on. And yeah, I absolutely clap before every take. And it's kind of like the clapboard that they had in the movies back in the day. You know, it just gives you this really sharp, really short, just sound, and then you can sync the audio up and get it perfectly. The problem that I'm having in here is that for some reason there's some kind of drift going on, and I'm going to have to get in there a little deeper and do a lot more boring cleanup to fix that. So that's why I was doing like the 98 point whatever %, is trying to sync that first hit where the clap would be and then see why the end of the song was off. And even though I am using apparently the wrong video for some of this, or maybe Miles put together a few different clips of the video or of the audio to fix the coughing in the last track, and he used one before, I'll have to go back and scrub through my video and see which clips he used and cut to those. And it should look seamless because I shot them very similarly. I didn't move the stationary cameras and the roaming camera like I've shown you. I can kind of cut in and out from that like I want. But they were playing to a metronome, which should theoretically make everything be in sync from take to take. So the fact that it's drifting a little bit, I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I may actually have to reach out to Miles, but I think at this point I can probably fix this later, just with a lot of manual nudging of the clips around and finding those alternate takes where Kristen wasn't coughing and whatnot. DIY Steadicam. That might be pretty cool. I don't know what that one looks like. I did make one out of steel frame. It's like this. It's a couple of handlebars. Not the most exciting thing. Hang on one second. I will be right back. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so I probably ought to have brought this along, but I haven't really been using it that much lately. I made this years ago when I first started with video, and it's really just some steel frame and some rods held together with bolts, and then some aftermarket bicycle handles, so you can kind of... It tends to steady things out just by adding weight and by spreading across. I don't know if this is the same type of thing you're linking in the Instructables, but it also gives you a top handle if you want to kind of drag. But I found that in practice this wasn't the best thing for me, because depending on the way that this wants to hang by virtue of its own weight, I didn't have a ball head, so I was finding myself very restricted. Like it wants to look at the floor when the camera's on it straight. So when I'm compensating for that and gravity's not doing most of the work with the Steadicam and it wants to lean that way, then you don't really have a lot of recourse. And the top handle was especially bad. It was very much looking down. So because I didn't build this with the ball head, and as you can see, there's not really enough clearance for it, once I upgraded to a bigger camera, this became kind of useless for me. So what I was counting on was the amazing stabilization in Canon's 18-135. The STM lens that comes with the 80D actually does a really good job, but hand holding a little camera like that, as much as I tried to stand wide and brace myself out, yeah, it's still got quite a bit of little shake going on in it. Let's see how this is going. Oh, it's done actually. Let's see how the warp stabilizer did. Where were we?
While shepherds kept their watching, or silent fox by night.
Pretty fantastic there.
While shepherds kept their watching, or silent fox by night. Behold, throughout the heavens there shone a holy light. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills, everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus.
Oh, that's driving me nuts. Those drum hits aren't on.
That Jesus is born. The shepherds feared and trembled when low above the earth rang out the angel chorus that hailed our Savior's birth. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus is born. Down in a lonely manger, the humble Christ was born. But God sent salvation on the Christmas morn.
Clearly working with the wrong thing here. Should have scrubbed through them ahead of time to see that there was all the talking in the last take. He probably used the second to the last take. But yeah, my fault for not confirming that.
Go and tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere. Go and tell it on the mountain that Jesus
Yeah, it's
is
all pro, just playing right here.
I said go and tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere. Go and tell it on the mountain that Jesus is born. I said go tell it on the mountain that Jesus is born.
Alright, and then at the end there, let me see. Did not leave myself a whole lot of room, so I'm going to go change one thing in that multicam real quick. didn't leave enough tail on these, so I'm just going to pull them out. And oh, I see. So that's the tail. That's as long as we can get out of it. So let's see here. Right on that last hit, do I fade out and trail it right along with the audio. And then right about there, we might put a title in there. We'll go over to the graphics panel and use the type tool. Alright, so I prepared this ahead of time. These are the credits. Pick a nice font here. I looked around at the fonts before I started this because honestly, and a lot of my designer friends will agree with this, you can spend a lot of time trying to pick out the right font. So I wanted to do something clean and easy, and as you can see, I have like a billion fonts. So we're going to do Universe. Why did that not apply? Alright, there we go. And just get that centered up, about the right size here. Okay. And then just to make it look a little bit more like credits, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 3 copies of this. And I'll walk you through. Let's hide those for a moment. This first one, I'm going to remove these end parts and this bottom, so it's just everyone's name. And then we'll take all of that and align it to the right. I'll turn this one on. And we'll do just the opposite on this one. And if anybody at Adobe's watching, which I know you're not, but can we make the type tool the T key like it is in every other application? That would be great. So that one will just have the rolls there, and then we'll make that one left aligned. Get them on the same baseline there and pull this over with the shift key so it's aligned. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then we'll just turn on the safe margins because that gives me a center point to work with. Pull this over here. Oops. Gotta do it with that shift key. Get the dashes lined up right in the center there so that they look right. And then pull that in so it's even. Perfect. And then we'll take this third one, grab our type tool, take these bottom production credits, we'll leave those centered, and then we can use the center key here to actually line them up. Get them looking good. About with the overlays. Okay. Just get a feel. So right there when the music ends, we'll give it just a second and then we'll fade that in. We're keeping it simple here. Alright. And then I'm going to put a fade out on the end so that if they want to put some of the YouTube promotional links or whatever at the end here, they'll have some space where they're not covering up all the text to put that in. Do a long slow fade here. That gives them the option of cutting the video right here or right here, and in which case on YouTube it would just freeze frame. I'm pretty sure YouTube and Facebook and such are going to be where this lands. or if they want, they have that little extra at the end. And we'll just pull this up into my titles area there. I'm going to make a copy of that, just a little alt drag to do that, just so I don't have to reset all the fonts and everything. And what we'll do is we'll go into this copy and we'll remove the, oops, we'll just clear those out. We'll take this one that's centered, put it in the middle. The name of the band. Blow that up. It's not blowing up. There we go. That seems like a nice size. Put it dead center. So that'll fade in. And then that's probably enough time to see the band's name and understand who they are. We want to get this in and out before they're done singing, but just long enough that people have a chance to read it. And actually, I'm going to remove the fade out. We'll do a crossfade at the end. So then I'm just going to pull that over, and on this copy, we're going to take that text and put the title of the song there. Maybe just shrink that down a little bit here. Center it up. And then take these here and switch them. Get about the same fade out that we had, roughly. We'll switch them along with that cut. Oh yeah, we left ourselves a little marker there, so just pull that over so that it fades out right as they start to sing. Perfect. And then we'll just right click between these, apply default in my case, and in any default case that's a cross dissolve. Just make that, I like them to be just a little longer on slower fades like this. And we got some nice simple text to lead it off. Nothing fancy. If they like a different font or something, they can tell me about it later. That would be all good. And I think, had I not now needed to go in and change back all of the video to make sure that everything lines up and that we don't have the dreaded coughing take that didn't happen, I think we're good to go here. All right, so that is about it. Looks like Eli's got some more tips. I will check that out, Eli, and take a look at that. If I can weigh it out somewhere, maybe tweak that one up. Maybe I can get it back in action. That would be nice. If nobody else has any questions, I don't know if anybody else is even watching at this point. Let me know. Say hi, whatever. I think maybe when the thing dropped, most people didn't realize that it would come back, so my bad. Anyway, let's see. I think that about covers it, so I'm gonna call it a day on that. My first live stream, a total disaster as to be expected, but I do hope that you guys got something from it. Yeah. So, if you guys enjoyed it, subscribe below. You can check it out, know when something like this is coming up. Watch some of my longer, more thought out videos that aren't so fly by the seat of the pants. And I want to get better at this, so I'm going to keep doing it. I don't know if I'll do it every week, but at some point I would like to make this a weekly thing. So if Fridays at lunchtime is good for you, let me know. If you're watching the replay on this, tell me what would have been a better time for you, and I'll try to make that happen. I would like to obviously do it at a time when most of you are going to be able to show up and actually check it out. And yeah, so it'll be the best benefit for everybody. And I'll have a few more questions to answer along the way. So hope you guys got something from this. It was messy, but it was fun. And until next time, peace.